Meghan Markle was invited to spend Christmas with the royal family in December 2017, a month after her engagement to Prince Harry was announced. Her invitation to the royal festive celebrations came considerably early in comparison to previous royal partners. Typically, significant others of members of the firm aren't invited to spend Christmas with the family until after getting married, but Queen Elizabeth II made a rare exception for the future Duchess of Sussex. Richard Kay, royal expert and columnist, described it as a baptism of fire, noting that it was a rare exception being made. He told the 2021 Channel 5 documentary, Harry and Meghan vs. the Monarchy, Kate Middleton was not invited as William's girlfriend to spend Christmas at Sandringham with the royals, but here was Meghan doing just that. The former Hollywood actress was being fast-tracked into royal life, and Christmas was the perfect time to charm her future in-laws. "I'm sure it was pretty daunting for Meghan to rock up at Sandringham for Christmas with the Queen," former BBC royal correspondent Jenny Bond said. "What do you give the Queen? What do you give your prospective father-in-law, Charles? It must have been frightfully difficult." However, according to a royal insider, Meghan played a blinder when it came to the crucial challenge of gift-giving. Perhaps surprisingly, the royal family's Christmas gifts to each other are not luxurious. As Mr. Kay explained, the royals have this tradition of not giving each other expensive gifts. In fact, the cheaper the gift, the better it is. Meghan Markle enabled Prince Harry to leave firm with transformative marriage. Meghan Markle and Prince Harry's relationship enabled the Duke of Sussex to transition outside of the institution of monarchy, which made him feel trapped, according to a historian. Dr. Tessa Dunlop, author of the newly released Elizabeth and Philip, A Story of Young Love, Marriage, and Monarchy, compared the union of late Queen Elizabeth II and Prince Philip to the marriage of the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. He continued, "Harry once gave his grandmother a pair of rubber gloves for doing the dishes. I mean, really quite bizarre presents." Meghan would have found that as extraordinary as a certain Diana Spencer on her first Christmas buying lavish gifts for her in-laws. She never made that mistake again. Unlike her late mother-in-law, Meghan gave an impressive performance that Christmas. Simon Vigar, royal correspondent for 5 News, told the documentary, Meghan played a blinder on her first Christmas. She got a toy, a singing hamster, for the Queen, and apparently she loved it, and so did the corgis. Queen Elizabeth inviting Meghan to her cherished Christmas celebrations was a huge deal. Grant Harold, a former royal butler, explained, "The Queen is very strict when it comes to family, and so to be invited was quite a significant thing. I'm sure Meghan Markle was absolutely terrified." Royal commentator Ashley Pearson described it as extraordinary special treatment, claiming the invitation possibly annoyed other members of the family, namely Prince Andrew and his ex-wife Sarah Ferguson. Fergie had famously not been invited to spend Christmas there when her daughters and ex-husband were, she explained. Anjula Mutanda, a relationship psychologist, added, "Maybe a few people might have felt that their noses were put out of joint because they've had to work so hard with the protocol, the rules and the regulations, and here enters Meghan and she is straight into Sandringham. I think it would have been a very diplomatic line that she would have had to walk." Nonetheless, Meghan seemingly won over the Queen, and following her wedding the next year, the Duchess of Sussex was once again offered a rare invitation. The newly married royal was invited by the late monarch for a day of female-only engagements, and the then 92-year-old Queen granted Meghan another royal first as the two women boarded the royal train to Chester. traveling on the royal train was a huge honor for the Duchess, as very few people ever get the opportunity to ride on the vehicle. At the time, the train was only available to be used by the Queen, Prince Philip, then Prince Charles and Camilla, Duchess of Cornwall. According to Rebecca English, the Daily Mail's royal correspondent, even Prince William and Prince Harry had not used the train in an official capacity before. Regards the royal train, it cost £900,000 to run in 2016-17 and was used just 14 times in 12 months, she tweeted. It is only available to the Queen, Philip, Charles and Camilla. I'm not even sure that William, Kate or Harry will have been on it officially. So quite a first for #Meghan. During their visit, the pair opened the Story House Theatre, which acts as a community centre, library, and cinema. There, they met performers and unveiled a plaque to commemorate the theatre's opening. They later visited the Catalyst Science Discovery Centre, a museum that describes itself as putting the fun in science, opened Mersey Gateway Bridge between Runcorn and Widnes, and attended a lunch held at Chester Town Hall alongside local leaders and dignitaries. Meghan seemed to get on very well with the firm's matriarch, with iconic pictures of them giggling together plastered in the newspapers. Thousands of people waited at the venues for them to arrive, with stalls set up on the streets selling flags and souvenirs. Mersey Gateway Bridge, however, according to a royal commentator, after Meghan's relationship with the palace started to break down, some began to question whether this had been the right move after all. Daily Mirror royal editor Russell Myers told an episode of Pod Save the King, formerly Pod Save the Queen, in 2020, there were some comments about whether people in the palace thought they had made a mistake letting Meghan go on her first engagement with the Queen to Chester. And I was there at the time, there were loads of crowds, great day, big privilege for her to step out with the Queen so soon after she got married. But the issue was they were saying, well, did Meghan then think, I don't fancy this, going up to a northern town on a train overnight, and I really want to be making speeches at the UN and change the way that girls' education is sought after in Africa. And maybe she also thought this is not for me, and it all happened very, very quickly, didn't it? So obviously there have been massive mistakes on both sides, and I'm sure that both sides feel a sense of regret at certain stages. His comments came in October 2020, months after Meghan and Harry had stepped down from the royal family and moved overseas. They have since built new lives in California and returned to the UK only a handful of times.